I made these today and I'm going to show you how. I'm using 2-part epoxy resin which I mixed, and I'm pouring it into the smaller pour cup so that it's easier for me to pour without making a mess. And I'm starting off by adding a small amount of clear epoxy resin to the cavities in this mold. I'm basically trying to achieve an upgraded version of the gemstone effect that I've done a couple times now on this channel. And we always start off by adding a small amount of clear resin to each of the cavities in our molds. This particular mold is very shallow, so I'm just using this toothpick to help me along to control the mess. It's especially important that I do not pour too much in the initial layer because I will be pouring another layer on top of it after I put on the colors on it. And I'm planning to make stud earrings with these, so the back needs to be flat. In my hand are 2 bottles of fine glitter powder, and they are the star of today's show. I also have iridescent mica powders that I'll be using. To achieve the gemstone effect, we basically need a clear layer of epoxy resin, mica powder, iridescent mica powder, and then an opaque backing. So it can be black or white. Black, of course, brings out the color more. Today though, I'm adding glitter in the mix because I want the finished piece to sparkle. So as it's shifted and as the light hits it differently, I want it to really shine. So that's what we're doing today. I have not attempted to do this before. This is my first time trying it, and the way my brain thought best to go about it is to add the glitter first and then add the iridescent powder. So that's what you see me doing here. It did not take very long for my brain to correct itself, because as I brush the powder on top of the glitter, it just moves it around. The brush just takes off the glitter and moves it around. So I decided to just brush some of the powder on the different cavities and then brush glitter on top of it. But then that disrupts the powder also, so I realized that that wasn't going to work either. So I proceeded to just go ahead and brush on the powder with hopes that I would figure it out. So I'm using up the 4 iridescent powders that I have. I have green, blue, yellow, and purple. And so I'm making a few of these pieces into each of the different colors. When I did the first gemstone project, something that I took care to do is to not brush the powder all the way to the edge of each of the different pieces, the edge of the cavities. But that is so difficult for me to do now because the cavities are so small. And I do believe that that technique added to the final gemstone look, but we'll see what these pieces turn out to look like. So after adding the powders, I figured that I would try my best to tap the glitter onto the different pieces because I didn't want to disrupt the powder that has already been brushed on to the resin. I also didn't want to waste too much of the glitter, so I didn't dip the brush in and then just bang it all over the place. I really didn't want to waste too much of it, so I was trying my best to see how best I could get the glitter into each of the cavity without interfering with the powder that is already there. So that's a close-up shot of what it looks like. So at this point I was just shaking it off, and some was coming off. It's kind of difficult for you to see it, but some definitely was being shaken off into the cavity. So yeah, it was working. After a while, I just put my finger there to tap the brush against it to encourage the glitter to fall off into the cavities as I tapped it. It's really hard for you to see the glitter falling off, but I assure you that it was happening. This is what it looked like when we were finished. And now it's time to put on the backing. So again, the backing is just 2-part epoxy mixed with black pigment. So I mixed it epoxy resin first, part A and part B, and after it has been properly mixed, I added the colored pigment, which is black in this case, and I am just adding it to the back. And you can see that as I added the black backing, the colors lifted, which sometimes happen depending on the amount of powder that was placed on each piece. So I'm just ensuring that each cavity is filled to the right level, and I left it to cure. We are now at the best part of the video, the big reveal. The back is pretty and very glittery. I'm hoping the front looks just the same. So every time I am ready to demold, I get excited. And that is the first piece. And it's hard to see in the camera the glitters, the sparkle in each piece, but I promise you that they are sparkly and very, very pretty. I think these will make very nice stud earrings. So here I'm trying to show you a close-up shot of the different pieces. I also like that this mold has some details that enhances the final look. It almost makes it look very diamondy. So yeah, I'm loving this mold. I didn't think I'd like it because it's so shallow, but it does. The pieces, the details in the pieces are very nice. Something interesting that I'm observing with this project when compared to the previous gemstone projects that I've done, even using the same iridescent mica powders, is that these colors are more vibrant. The purple especially stands out to me because in the first gemstone video, the purple almost came out pink. I thought it was pink when I used it the first time, but it's actually showing purple in this one. So I wonder why that is the case. And this is what the pieces look like in the sunlight. The sparkles are sparkling. Anyways, thank you guys so much for spending the time with me today. I appreciate your stopping by, and I would appreciate you more if you watched another video. Thank you. Bye.